The global education landscape faces an urgent crisis, a severe shortage of qualified math and science teachers. This document presents a strategic, evidence-based solution, advocating for a transformative teacher training model that leverages the expertise of foreign-trained engineers. Join us in exploring a path to strengthen STEM education and foster inclusive innovation worldwide. This policy document presents a transformative solution to address the global shortage of math and science teachers. It is driven by the vision of Gopal Savarimuthu, an immigrant engineer with extensive experience in India's efficient training systems. Gopal's idea for a 3-month university-level training program was inspired by years of reflection on systemic barriers faced by immigrant professionals. The program aims to recruit foreign-trained engineers with 5 to 10 years of industry experience and professional certification, P.Eng. They would be trained to teach math, science, and STEM subjects, drawing on India's success in educating a diverse 1.4 billion population. This proposal offers a scalable, inclusive approach. It seeks to strengthen education in Canada, Europe, and the Americas. I am grateful to Grok, an artificial intelligence developed by XAI, for its partnership in crafting this document. Grok's ability to synthesize data and structure arguments has been instrumental in transforming Gopal's vision into a clear, policy-focused narrative. This collaboration ensures the e-book is evidence-based and compelling. Together, we aim to inspire educators, policymakers, and global stakeholders to rethink teacher recruitment. The world faces an unprecedented crisis in math and science education. Acute teacher shortages threaten the development of skilled professionals needed for innovation-driven economies. In Canada, 60% of high schools lack qualified physics teachers, 2024 data. Ontario projects a deficit of over 2,000 math and science educators by 2027. Europe grapples with similar challenges, as the UK reports a 50% shortfall in physics teachers. In the Americas, 86% of US schools struggle to hire STEM educators. Latin American nations face rising demands for qualified teachers, 2023 OECD. These shortages weaken STEM pipelines, costing economies billions. Canada alone loses $50 billion annually in productivity due to education gaps, 2023 OECD. Immigrant professionals, particularly foreign-trained engineers, face systemic barriers that exacerbate this crisis. In Canada, urban school boards often favor locally trained candidates, sidelining qualified immigrants despite their expertise. This bias contributes to a teaching workforce that remains 85% plus white, 2019 Statistics Canada, limiting diversity and innovation. Globally, similar patterns persist, with credential recognition delays and hiring biases excluding diverse talent. This e-book proposes a strategic solution, a 3-month university-level training program. It recruits foreign-trained engineers with 5 to 10 years of industry experience and P.Eng certification to teach math, science, and STEM. Inspired by India's efficient training models, this initiative leverages engineers' expertise to address shortages while promoting inclusivity. Implementable at Canadian universities, the program offers a scalable model for Canada, Europe, and the Americas. The global teacher shortage crisis is rooted in systemic barriers. These limit the recruitment of qualified educators, particularly in math and science. In Canada, Ontario's teacher deficit is projected to reach 2,000 plus by 2027, with 60% of high schools lacking physics instructors, 2024 data. British Columbia and Alberta face similar gaps, with rural and Indigenous communities hardest hit. In Europe, the UK's 50% shortfall in physics teachers and Germany's 20,000 STEM educator deficit, 2023, reflect parallel challenges. In the Americas, 86% of U.S. schools report STEM hiring difficulties. Brazil and Mexico struggle to meet demands for tech-driven economies, 2023 OECD. These systemic issues demand urgent policy reform. 3 critical barriers exacerbate these shortages. Rigid certification, Canada's two-year Bachelor of Education (B.Ed.M.E) programs, costing $20,000–$30,000, deter mid-career professionals like engineers. In the UK, lengthy certification processes similarly discourage career switchers. Policymakers must address these prohibitive requirements. Urban hiring biases. Canadian school boards, such as Toronto and Edmonton public schools, often prioritize locally trained candidates. This sidelines immigrant professionals, contributing to a teaching workforce that is 85% plus white, 2019 Statistics Canada. This occurs despite 25% of Canada's population being immigrants, 2021. Credential recognition. Foreign-trained professionals face significant delays in certifying qualifications. In Canada, 25% of immigrant professionals are underemployed due to these issues, 2022 Statistics Canada. Similar challenges exist in the UK and US, hindering talent integration. These barriers not only deepen shortages, but also exclude diverse talent. They limit cultural representation in classrooms where 13% of Canadian students are immigrants, 2021. A new strategic approach is needed to recruit experienced engineers. This will leverage their expertise to fill gaps and diversify education systems globally. India's ability to educate its 1.4 billion population offers powerful lessons for addressing global teacher shortages. It is one of the world's most diverse nations in terms of language, culture, and religion. India produces over 200,000 engineers annually, fueling a $200 billion IT sector, 2023 data. This demonstrates scalable, high-quality education models. Training programs like the Central Institute of Plastics Engineering and Technology, CIPET, and Graduate Engineer Training, GET, initiatives transform diverse talent into skilled professionals rapidly. Gopal Savarimuthu's 14-year experience training mold engineering technologists exemplifies this. These models, rooted in practical, inclusive training, inspire the proposed 3-month teacher training program. They offer a blueprint for Canada, Europe, and the Americas. India's higher education system, particularly in Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, produces over 1.5 million STEM graduates annually. Institutions like the Indian Institutes of Technology, IITs, train students in mathematics, physics, and computer science. They often use recent graduates as instructors to meet demand. This practice shows how STEM expertise can address teacher shortages, a principle applicable to the proposed program. CIPET, a premier Indian institute, exemplifies rapid skill development. During Gopal Savarimuthu's tenure, CIPET focused on a hands-on model, 80% on-the-job training and 20% classroom theory. This transformed hundreds of grade 10 graduates into mold engineering technologists. CIPET's success in training diverse entry-level talent highlights India's scalable training. India's GET programs, used in manufacturing, IT, and automotive sectors, train fresh engineers in 1 year. They achieve 80% plus placement in top firms, 2023. Companies like Tata Consultancy Services leverage GET to support India's $200 billion IT sector. Gopal's CIPET experience aligns with GET's rapid, practical approach. This supports the argument that experienced engineers need only 3 months to transition to teaching. India's systems accommodate diverse linguistic, cultural, and socio-economic backgrounds. CIPET's inclusive training prepares technologists for global industries. This is highly relevant to Canada's 13% immigrant student population, 2021, and Europe's multicultural classrooms. This adaptability informs the proposed program's cultural competency training. Indian professionals, comprising 18% of Canada's STEM workforce, 2021, refute stereotypes of underqualified talent. CIPET and GET graduates contribute globally, countering biases in Canada's urban school boards. The proposed program builds on this legacy to diversify teaching. India's CIPET and GET models offer scalable solutions for teacher shortages. The global shortage of math and science teachers threatens STEM education. Canada lacks physics teachers in 60% of high schools, 2024. The UK faces a 50% physics shortfall, and 86% of US schools struggle to hire STEM educators, 2023 OECD. Systemic barriers, like lengthy certifications and urban hiring biases, exclude foreign-trained professionals, worsening the crisis. This chapter proposes a strategic 3-month university-level training program in Canada. It targets foreign-trained engineers with 5-10 years of experience and P.Eng certification to teach math, science, and STEM. Implementable at universities like the University of Toronto, UBC, or McGill, this program leverages engineers' expertise. It promotes inclusivity and offers a scalable model for Canada, Europe, and the Americas. The program targets mid-career engineers with P.Eng certification, representing 20% of Canada's engineering workforce, 2021. Unlike 2-year B.Ed programs, 20,000, 30,000, this 3-month program is cost-effective, 5,000, 10,000, and delivers 12 to 15 credits. By focusing on pedagogy, curricula, cultural competency, and classroom practice, it ensures engineers transition efficiently to teaching. This addresses shortages and biases effectively. The curriculum includes pedagogy, 4 weeks, teaching methods for math, science, and STEM, covering lesson planning and engagement. Engineers translate expertise, e.g. IT engineers teach coding, into accessible lessons. Curriculum alignment, 3 weeks. Study of provincial, e.g. Ontario's grade 9-12 math, and global standards, e.g. UK's GCSE, ensuring relevance. Cultural competency, 2 weeks. Training for diverse classrooms, including Indigenous perspectives, leveraging engineers' global experience. Practicum, 4 to 6 weeks. Supervised teaching placements in schools, building skills and countering biases. Delivered via workshops, online modules, and practice, the curriculum mirrors the UK's Now Teach program, 70% retention. Engineers' real-world expertise enhances teaching. A manufacturing engineer could teach geometry through design, or an IT engineer could introduce coding. This prepares students for Canada's tech sector, 100B 2024, Europe's innovation hubs, or Latin America's startups. The program could produce 100-200 teachers annually in Canada, filling 10-20% of shortages, Ontario's 2027 projection. Global adoption could boost GDP by 1-2%, 2023 OECD. In Canada, 25% of immigrant professionals are underemployed due to biases, 2022. The program's university credential legitimizes engineers' expertise, reducing urban biases. Partnerships with immigrant organizations diversify Canada's 85% plus white teaching workforce, 2019. This extends to the UK and US, fostering equitable systems. The UK could adopt the model at Oxford or Imperial College. The US could enhance Teach for America, and Latin America could adapt it for Brazil's tech sector. Standardized credentials make it versatile. At $5,000, $10,000, the program is accessible. It can be funded by Canada's $1.2 billion education budget, 2024, or tech partnerships. Pilots with 5,100 engineers could scale, like Now Teach's 1,000 teachers in 5 years. The 3-month program transforms engineers into teachers, addressing shortages, enhancing STEM education, and promoting inclusivity. Implementing the 3-month Engineer-to-Teacher program requires overcoming systemic barriers. These include rigid certifications, hiring biases, and funding constraints. This chapter outlines strategic solutions for Canada with scalable approaches for Europe and the Americas. This ensures the program's success in addressing teacher shortages and promoting inclusivity. Canada's fragmented certification system delays immigrant engineers' entry into teaching. A national framework modeled on Engineers Canada's P.Eng process could streamline recognition. It would certify program graduates as teachers in 3 months. The UK could adopt similar standards, aligning with its qualified teacher status. the U.S. could integrate it into alternative certification pathways. Collaboration is key. School boards engage Toronto, Edmonton, and rural boards to hire program graduates, countering biases. Universities partner with U of Toronto, UBC, McGill to deliver training, leveraging existing infrastructure. Immigrant organizations work with Edmonton Mennonite Center for Newcomers to recruit diverse engineers. Industry, tech firms, e.g. Alberta's AI sector, can fund programs, benefiting from stronger STEM pipelines. In Europe, UK universities like Imperial College could partner with local councils. In the US, partnerships with Teach for America could scale impact. Policy reforms are crucial. Streamline certification by reducing B.Ed requirements for experienced engineers, as in Ontario's 2023 pilot. Mandate diversity in school board hiring panels to counter biases, increasing representation. Allocate $10-20 million from Canada's $1.2 billion education budget, 2024, for pilots. EU grants or U.S. federal funds could support global adoption. Resistance from teacher unions, fearing job competition, can be addressed by emphasizing shortages in high-demand subjects. Rural placement incentives, like Alberta's $5,000 bonuses 2024, ensure equitable distribution. Pilot programs with 5,100 engineers can demonstrate efficacy, scaling to 1,000 annually. The UK's Now Teach model shows alternative certification success. Brazil could adapt the program for its $50 billion tech sector. Australia could target Indigenous communities, ensuring global relevance. Through standardized credentials, partnerships, and reforms, the program can overcome barriers. Gopal Savarimuthu's vision for a 3-month engineer-to-teacher program stems from his commitment to equitable education. It is inspired by systemic barriers and India's training models. This chapter reflects on his experiences and critiques global education systems, advocating for inclusive innovation. In Canada, immigrant educators face urban hiring biases. 25% of professionals are underemployed, 2022 Statistics Canada. Boards like Toronto prioritize local candidates, limiting diversity in an 85% plus white teaching workforce, 2019. Similar biases in the UK and US exclude talent, weakening education systems. Gopal's 14-year tenure at CIPET, training hundreds of grade 10 graduates into technologists, showed how practical, inclusive training empowers diverse talent. CIPET's model, transforming entry-level students into contributors to India's $450 billion manufacturing sector, 2023, inspired the 3-month program. It leverages engineers' expertise for teaching. Current education systems fail to harness diverse talent, costing Canada $50 billion in productivity, 2023 OECD. Lengthy certifications deter career switchers, and biases exclude immigrants, limiting innovation. India's CIPET and GET models prove rapid training can address gaps. This is a crucial lesson Canada, Europe, and the Americas must adopt. Gopal envisions a system where diverse engineers teach, enriching classrooms with global perspectives. By countering biases and streamlining certifications, the program fosters equity. It prepares students for tech-driven economies and diverse societies. Gopal's vision, rooted in CIPET's success and a critique of systemic failures, offers a path to inclusive, innovative education. The global shortage of math and science teachers demands urgent action. Canada's 60% physics teacher gap, 2024, the UK's 50% shortfall, and the US's 86% STEM hiring struggles, 2023, highlight the crisis. Systemic barriers, lengthy certifications, urban biases, and credential delays exclude diverse talent, costing economies billions. The proposed 3-month university-level program, inspired by India's CIPET and GET models, recruits foreign-trained engineers. They possess 5-10 years of experience and P.Eng certification to teach math, science, and STEM. Gopal Savarimuthu's 14-year CIPET experience, training hundreds of technologists, proves rapid, inclusive training can address shortages. Implementable at Canadian universities, the program is scalable for Europe and the Americas, enhancing STEM education and equity. Data: Canada's 2,000-plus teacher deficit by 2027, UK's 50% physics shortfall, US's 86% STEM hiring issues, 2023-2024. India's models: CIPET's 80% on-the-job training gets 80% plus placement rate, 2023. Global examples: UK's Now Teach, 1,000 teachers trained, US's Teach for America. Resources: Engineers Canada for P.Eng certification, immigrant organizations like Edmonton Mennonite Centre, Canada's 1.2B education budget, 2024. Policymakers, educators, and university leaders, it is time to act. Advocate for this program, partner with universities, school boards, and industry to pilot and scale it. By streamlining certifications and countering biases, we can build diverse, innovative education systems, ensuring a brighter future for students worldwide.